My name is Mark Otabo, and you are watching The Big Issue. Now, if you're caught owning a laptop in Nigeria these days, coupled with your appearance, age, and specific gender, you are likely to be tagged an internet fraudster, aka Yahoo. And you also stand a chance of being arrested. Well, don't be quick to put blame on security operatives. Cyber fraud has gotten so popular that some Nigerian socialites are beginning to take sides whether it should be tagged a crime or not, as some have claimed that this is a demon that was birthed by a failed system. Do you agree with this? Should the Yahoo surge be blamed on government not doing enough, or should we blame the people in the act? Now, to do justice to this debate, I'm going to introduce my guest, but first of all, I might not be needing this anytime soon. Very quickly. All right, come on, put your hands together once again. Yes, of course, today on the show, Julius Osime, a youth advocate and social commentator, have this to say about the topic: blame the youth, blame the people involved in cybercrime, and leave government out of their unscrupulous act. Come on, come over, put your hands together for him. You're welcome, my brother. Nice having you here, very quickly. Now, on the other side of the divide is Team Ayola Abiodun, a man of many sides, political analyst, youth advocate, as well as a social commentator. Team Ayola believes that the government hasn't done enough to curb the virus. Come on, team. That hand is not big enough. Well, this debate is going to be really very engaging, as a matter of fact. We understand the feelings and all the intrigues around it for days, for months. It's been on and on, but we have decided to settle it right here on this fantastic show. Very quickly, I will want to start with Team before I hit Julius very quickly. Now, Team, you are saying the government hasn't done enough to actually curb the virus. I would really want you to start it off quickly.
Thank you, my coordinator.
Yeah.
If you look at it critically well,
right?
If you going down memory lane, there was a time an artist sang a song, Yahooze.
Yahooze, yeah.
And Yahoo.
Yeah.
And that song played in major events. There was a particular event that took place. Government functionaries, dignitaries were there. And the former Deputy High Commissioner came on stage to dance along with Olumenten in that song. Technically, what have you done? You have endorsed Yahoo. If I hammer, first in a hammer. That song played in major events. What is the function, the role of regulatory agency that regulates songs that are churned out to the public, especially people you see as role models, that the people look up to, especially young people, that they want to live after. They want to behave like them. They want to dress like them. They want to act like them. So when you now come out to say, this is the way you can hammer very quick. And when you hammer the first in a hammer, then if you follow the lyrics of that song, practically and technically, those people who came on stage to dance with him, they have technically said, this is the way to go.
All right, team, you have opened this discourse, and I bet you it's going to be a long ride, all right? Now, quickly, Julius, let's have your side of the divide.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to my colleague here. I strongly believe that whatever anyone has decided to become, whatever anyone chooses to do, it is primarily his or her choice.
Okay.
So, blaming the government or whoever you want to blame for the activities of cyber criminals, you are obviously not aware of the fact that even if you are influenced or you are advised to be a cyber criminal or a Yahoo boy, it is ultimately your choice. So you first of all, how life works is that you first of all make your choice and your choice end up making you. So if you choose that path, you have also decided that whatever consequences that comes with it, you are ready to face it. So I would say that being a Yahoo boy or a cyber criminal, as the case may be, it is your decision, it is your choice, and you have to take responsibility, not blaming any other person. But I'll quickly say this. You know, my colleague was talking about the song Yahoo say, if you hammer, you buy Homer. I think that's a bit outdated because nobody buy Homer anymore. They now buy Mercedes-Benz or Venza. So what that means is that but I will also tell you the truth, that if you get out there today, not everybody that drives a Benz is a Yahoo boy. Not everybody that operates a computer is a Yahoo boy. Because some people have decided, or they have decided that if the system is not favorable, there are other things I can do, my talent, my skill, and then provide food on my table. So what I'm trying to say with that is not everyone, we all have the choice to become criminals, but not everybody told that route. So some people decided to, you know, go into lucrative business that are both productive and legal. So I'm saying this today that that's not the only option that there is. I believe that if we do not, if the individual involved has good moral standard and the values are in place, there are better options to go than being a Yahoo boy.
Thank you very much. Come on, put your hands together for him. Fantastic. Now, a team, you are of the opinion that the government hasn't done enough. Now, what policies do you think the government has failed to put in place to actually checkmate this situation that we are in at the moment?
Well, basically, let me go back memory lane, like he said. He mentioned about talking about the song being outdated. You know, we have a problem in Nigeria. Right. Our fire brigade approach cannot help us unless we go back to drawing board and change our approach. Why do you want a problem to start in the first place? When this thing started, when this Yahoo money started, then the vehicles that were raining there was Oma. Everybody tend to overlook it. Nobody saw it as a problem. Even then, the society, see, you get the kind of leaders you deserve. The people who lead us, the people who rule us, the people who make policies for us, they are not from the moon. They are not from from Pluto. They are from within us. Right. So that shows you, that mirrors the kind of society we live in. People are unnecessarily flamboyant. People see, you know, the best way to make it, the best way is get it quick, the get-rich-quick syndrome. Yeah. Nobody is now addressing the issue. You know, in those days, when you bring anything home, people ask you questions, where did you get it? Even parents nowadays now say, can't you see your mate? Does it matter where you got it from? If these are the people that are the leaders, these are the people that are regulating some agencies responsible to prosecute, responsible to arrest. You know, something happened quite some weeks ago, and a guy was caught. I went to a friend of his who is a policeman, a senior police officer, and they just told me, that boy, you know him, he stay around your area. I went to see the boy. The boy was denying. They caught him with, when they investigated, there was 35 accounts tracked to him with the help of BVN. And then you know what he said? He said, did anybody declare that his money is missing? That's, as a matter of fact, nobody has come. And another person was supporting him, a purported elderly person. And I said, this is what our society has, this is how it has degenerated. That now we have decided to throw away our honor and dignity. Our conscience has been seared up. That the things that are supposed to be done are overlooked. And if nothing is done, over time, you will understand what will become of us. Let me explain something to you.
Right.
Hackers, internet fraudsters, they are very intelligent set of people.
Very, very.
How do you engage these minds? What can we do with them? Going back to the question you asked, how do we take? For me, the person who went to steal a cable or whatever while transformer is working, while there is electricity, please sit him down. How did you do it? These people are not really trained people. How did they get there?
All right.
Let us not throw away the baby and the bathwater.
Can I say something here?
Of course. You're going to say something. Yeah. You want to quickly?
Because it's obvious that he has taken all of my points and is actually speaking for blaming the youth for their involvement with cybercrime.
I didn't blame the youth.
You know why I'm saying that? Because you made a statement while you were making your point that these guys are intelligent, that these guys
he's saying they're intelligent.
the value system,
He's saying
and then he now
yes.
said the popular quote that we have the leaders that we deserve. So coming to blame the government is actually, we can trace it back to say we blame the youth on the street for getting involved in negative activities. We blame the people the parents for not training the children and giving them the right value system. Because the government that you want to blame today they are actually people that came from the society. Okay. And in the society today, we cannot deny the impact and the contribution of the youth in our society. Okay. So if the society is majorly capitalized by the youth, and the youth have wrong value system, and he mentioned a few. Number one, right now we value money more than integrity. So we celebrate money, those that have money, we celebrate those that drive the big cars more than those that have good names. Yeah. And then because of that, that has led the individual, the young people, the youth into cybercrime. Let's just use the word Yahoo Yahoo here.
Yeah, of course.
Because see me see trouble.
Come on.
I'm not a Yahoo boy. Do you know something here? All right. So the wrong value system in the society has led the individual in making the wrong decision. But eventually, there's a Yoruba adage that I love so much. I heard it while I was growing up, and it made a lot of sense to me. I will interpret it in English because I'm not too fluent in speaking the language. Okay. And it says that your parents raised you.
Can you say it in that language?
Okay. Ìyá mi bàbá wọ́n bí mi dá, èmi gangan. So what that means is, no matter the training, no matter the value, the upbringing you got from your parents, right, when you grow up, you got your decisions to make. Right. So when you make your choice, your choices end up to make you.
Fantastic. Come on, put your hands together for him. When you make your choice, the choices end up to make you. We will go for a break, and when we return, of course, this debate will continue. And if you're just joining us, this is still the big issue. Well, of course, welcome back to the show. Of course, these two amazing gentlemen are still doing justice to this particular subject matter. And Julius is saying, blame the youth and leave the government out of it. But Tim is saying the government has not done enough to actually curb this virus. Now, you wanted to react to what he said before we went for that break quickly.
Yes, definitely. You're talking about the choices we make. Now, going back to the family. Yeah. Because I'm going to take you point to point, because if you look at it, some parents are they are very irresponsible, grossly irresponsible. Okay. If you fail to train a child in the way he should grow, so that when he grows, he will not depart from it. Right. So will you say when the child becomes wayward, a child that was not properly trained? There was a story I heard of somebody, an armed robber also, who was about to be hanged or either facing firing squad, and he said, please, I want to talk to my mother. And the mother came close. Yeah, and I think he did something to the mother. The air, chopped it off. Because he right there, he became remorseful and he became angry with his parents, because the formative stage of a child, it is not his choice. Who becomes your parent is not your choice. Even if Abalis give birth to you, that is your parent. You have no power over it. Who becomes your leader? When the leaders are supposed to do the right thing, when they fail to do it, will you put the blame on the victims? There are certain things the leaders are responsible to. That is why they are leaders. That's why they are selected to the process of formulating policies. When policies are formulated, the process of implementation of the policies, they are responsible for it. The institutions that are supposed to track these fraudulent financial activities, what are they doing?
Right.
How did we get to where we are?
All right, team.
Where are we coming from? Because you need to look at where you are coming from. That is going to guide you to where you are going to. You can't throw away your past. You can't erase your past.
All right, Julius, I know you are totally blaming the youths. You're saying, look, youths are to be blamed for this move they have made and stuff. Now, you understand that the narrative has always been no job. no job.
That's the excuse.
No job.
That's the popular excuse.
You say it's an excuse, but in actual fact, looking at it from a very, very factual point of view, is that not enough to push them into doing something very unbelievable?
I don't want us to cover it with some grammar, cyber grammar. No, it is stealing.
Right.
And we were taught in this part of the world that if you steal, you will be caught, and when you are caught, you'll be persecuted. So what that means is that there is no job, you can blame it on the government. There is poverty, you can blame it on whoever. It's not the yardstick to do what is wrong. Why am I saying that? There are several opportunities that are available that I think the young man can engage his mind with.
Okay.
Several of it. You can blame you can blame it on the poor educational situation of the country, but I can tell you that we are over 200 million people in this country.
Okay.
And then the young people here capitalize over 65%.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that it's not everybody that is making that decision.
Okay, let me take you up on this very quickly right now. Now, if you see probably 3-4 youths now, you are to tell not to do cybercrime again. What can you tell them to convince them that cybercrime is not the way to what they desire?
I'll tell you, number one, he mentioned that if you go to airports, I've traveled a bit, and then I've seen where you have a queue of everyone with green passports, the way they search and harass us, all right? It was even said recently, I think sometimes ago, that Wole Soyinka was also harassed, was searched at the airport because of his green passport. That's a Nobel laureate. That's supposed to be one of the most celebrated people on the planet.
In the world.
And then he was harassed like that because he has a green passport. And I can tell you that the effect of cybercrime has placed Nigeria on the world map as a criminal populated nation. And that has not given us a good image as a nation.
A graduate who just finished, went through all that strain in school, coming out, no job. I mean, scouted for job, sent out CVs, no response. How do you expect that child or that person to be psychologically balanced, to want to move in the other direction, not to actually do something the other way?
The question is, the person that is saying there's no job, all right, how qualified is this person? There's a research that came out recently, or not even recently, long ago, it's been around, that Nigerian graduates are not employable. It's not as though there are no jobs. When they say there are no jobs, sometimes I don't really, I agree that our unemployment rate is on the rise, but the qualified people are changing job on a regular basis. So are we qualified for the job, or we just have a certificate?
So you are saying that there are not enough quality graduates?
For the job.
For the job.
For the job.
But you are saying the jobs are there, but sometimes
there are jobs
they're not qualified to hold those jobs down.
So the graduates are not employable, they are not qualified for the job. They are not skilled, they are not trained,
I disagree with
they don't have
you.
the relevant skills for the jobs that are available.
I disagree with you on that. Nigerian youths are one of the most intelligent people on planet Earth.
I agree with you. And
Go and check. Hold on. Let me explain to you.
They are making fortune from their skills legally. Like I said earlier, not everyone pressing their computer are Yahoo boys. Not everyone driving a Mercedes-Benz are Yahoo boys. There are guys out there that are doing legitimate businesses, making use of their intelligence, making use of their skill, and they are making good money in the same country.
In a state whereby some are living a kind of life that you cannot explain, these people are supposed to be in custody of our commonwealth. These people are supposed to look after your well-being. They've technically overlooked you, but to look after themselves. What are you telling the other people indirectly? You can take to crime. There are different means of communicating with people. In this part of the world, you don't necessarily need to tell somebody, go and steal before he steals.
So are you saying
your actions, what I am telling you is that this deliberate negligence, even a senator tweeted of recent, he said he's afraid. Senator Dino Malai, did you see that tweet?
Okay.
Did you hear what the Emir of Kano said? About the time he talked about, if we continue like this, we build walls and all that, these people will come after us. See, let me tell you, there is a deliberate neglect of these people. You're talking about youth are not employable. They are not this, they are not that. Have you interacted with Nigerian students, the graduates? Leave the never do well alone. Leave the ones who do not have good foundations. Leave the unserious ones. Have you met these young people? Have you interacted with them? Can you hear the way you are sounding? Are you not doing well? Are you not speaking well? Are you not sounding well? Are you not intelligent? How well are you doing with your own business? How well as the society, the environment, do you have is there an enabling environment for your business to thrive? You go to bed, you have a budget, draw out a plan. Before you wake up, there is a change in policy. There is uncertainty. What are you talking about? See, until we go to address the main cause of this problem, we are just we are just mesmerizing ourselves and leaving the main disease.
Now, you are actually of the opinion that you have to blame the young people. You are leaving the government out. But in reality, are you sincere with your stand?
I'm 100% sincere.
Okay.
Because the reason for that is this is not the only country in the world where the government are not meeting up to their responsibilities.
True.
This can't be the only country. But if you check on the internet now, some of us do international businesses. We have to do payment online and all of that. Especially PayPal and other platforms, a lot of hundreds of platforms that will not allow Nigeria do business with them.
Definitely.
And the reason for that is because there is high rise of internet fraud. And I want us to stick to the point here. There is high rise on the internet fraud, Yahoo in this country. So people are no longer trusting Nigeria. So what I'm saying is, let's place the impact on the weighing balance. Is the government's negligence enough reason to sabotage the entire destiny of a nation? Which ultimately, if you keep blaming the government, you keep blaming the government year in, year out, tenor in, tenor out, and the youth are encouraged, obviously, to keep making the wrong decisions and placing Nigeria in the black book of the world, then we have also said that in a few years from now, there will not be a nation. We have also said that in a few years, even you cannot successfully cross the borders of this nation because you will be probably mistaken for a criminal, even though you are going about your legitimate business. So should we, because of what the government is not doing, now begin to do the wrong things?
Tim, you heard him.
I heard him right, and I need to appreciate him for helping me do my job. Because the points he's making points in support of the issue that is being raised here.
Come on,
nobody is celebrating crime. Number one. No, hold on. I will give you. I will give you the opportunity.
Okay.
Like I always. Your views matters to me, and I need to also appreciate you because I don't need to sweat much. You've helped me. You've done justice to certain things. Now, you talked about the image of the nation being sabotaged.
By the youth, by the activities of the youth. We form the largest percentage of the population.
Yes.
And we cannot neglect.
Let's not make this rowdy so that we can get ourselves right. Let's have conversation right now. Now, let me ask you a question, which I need you to be sincere and honest about it. Is there any policy or plan to engage the multitude of young people that we are churning out from university? We know fully well how many millions of graduates we churn out yearly. What are the plans in place to gainfully engage these people? What policies have we drawn out or mapped out to engage these people? People have 20, 30 years plan. What is our short-term goals? What are our short-term goals? What are the long-term, in the next 30 years, what are we looking at? We are seated on the keg of a gunpowder that will soon consume us if nothing is done. Nobody is encouraging individuals to engage in crime. What you are talking about?
So you got to pause.
Listen to me.
That the government does not have a plan to engage and employ the youth.
Obviously, the government has been overwhelmed.
Is that enough reason to encourage crime?
Nobody is encouraging crime. Don't miss the point.
So what are you doing exactly?
Everything I've done here is to go to the root of the matter.
Okay.
Because if somebody is suffering from headache, You are suffering from a typhoid. You are taking malaria drug. You have not treated the main cause of that, what the person is suffering from. Let us treat the cause of this thing that is being celebrated. I was driving last week. I had a song played from a radio station that is regulated by NBC. Yahoo làwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi, and the guy at the background was saying, after the song finished, he said, good song. I said to myself, I said, is it that we don't have regulatory agency? Is it that we don't have people? Listen, that is a failure on that part. You enter, what are you talking about? So is the Yahoo boy that regulates what songs they churn out? Even if somebody has watched that kind of album, should you allow that song to trend?
Okay.
Should you allow such songs? Not on the internet or on the radio,
Julius,
on TV. You see some of these songs. There are other new songs out now celebrating this thing.
I have something
and you are saying the government, you are saying the agencies involved, the institutions. The laws are there. The institutions are not strengthened. They are not empowered enough to carry out their mandates, their responsibility.
You know the truth.
Let's call a spade a spade.
You know the truth.
Let us stop pretending. Let us, if you don't address the real issue, let us stop window dressing. What you are doing is window dressing.
Take it easy.
And we have to be honest with ourselves.
Julius is trying to tackle you now, quickly.
So obviously, you have pointed out the issues, which is every one of us is aware of the failed system, the failed government, and all. What I'm saying today is, first, the youths in this country will have the wrong view.
Okay.
First of all, we have the wrong things we are looking at. So the definition of success to a 17-year-old boy is if you drive a car. The definition of success to a 17-year-old boy is that you have money to throw around, to buy the expensive drinks, and to buy to go to the expensive clubs and all. So and from the age,
and the boy is responsible for that.
From the age of 17, he has the wrong view, and all that is in his mind is he's not looking at the right thing, what success truly means.
A minor
because if
is responsible, should be held responsible for that.
If you ask me what success means,
be sincere with yourself when you are.
I will tell you. Just listen to me. Listen to me. And then this is, let's be intellectual. Let's be a lot. So listen to me. If you ask me on this platform what success means, or what success should mean to that young boy that is just growing up, you should first of all be looking at good name.
Okay.
This is where a society has good value system. Good name is better, always better than silver, than gold. All right? So the young man should first of all have the right value system. Number two, we are looking at the wrong people.
We're looking at the wrong people.
We are looking at the wrong people. The young people today, and then I'm speaking, I'm blaming them not because they are the worst set of people, but I'm blaming the youth. I'm blaming us to be responsible, because look at this. Whether you fail or you succeed, it's your fault. Okay. A man must come to the point where he takes 100% responsibility for his life.
Yes.
And the outcome of it. So he's looking at the wrong people. So the young man is growing up at 17, 18, 19. He's already looking at and guess what? What do you see on social media? What do you see on the music video? They are all make-ups.
All right.
They are all acted.
Make-believe.
They are make-believe. So you see someone throwing dollar notes on the internet, on social media, on the stage. Most of the time, those things are that just make believe, and they want to use it for a particular purpose. If that is what you are looking for, you will make. If you are what you are looking at, you make the wrong decision.
You make the wrong decision.
You make the wrong decision.
Now let me take you up on this team. Now you are saying the government hasn't done enough. Why is it that cybercrime is on the rise here? Because we know there are other failed nations as well. Why is it not said about them that there are high rate of internet fraudsters there? Why Nigeria?
Now, I will take it back to where he talked, when he mentioned 16, 17-year-old doing certain evil vices and all that. Sometimes these people you're talking about, they are a product of a failed marriage, failed parenting. Now, these people that you are crucifying,
maybe you should focus on the question.
Hold on. I'll come back.
Marriage
hold on now. Hold on. These people you are talking about, they are a product of a failed society. Like I've always said, they didn't come from Jamaica or Jakarta. They are from within us.
Why is it Nigeria?
I'm checking. It's not.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Okay.
If you don't go through process,
can we allow the
you can't get
process, please?
Let's allow the process.
Allow the process,
because that's where we miss it here. Actually, people celebrate the success. They don't celebrate the process to the success.
Okay, can we let him hold the process down now?
Now, basically, we as a people, until we sit down in honesty. Now, in the past, I remember the church I belong to, Deeper Life Christian Ministry. Right. If you bring a kind of offering, they can't explain, they can't match with your source of livelihood, they ask you questions. Now, churches don't do that anymore.
Right.
This is part of the system we are talking about. Somebody comes with a flashy car and come to dedicate it in church. The pastor will come and say, I've told you that this year will be different. I have said it on this altar. That's when I prophesied it. Have you seen the way it's happening? Look at the numbers of cars lined up outside. Nobody is asking where did they get the money to buy the cars. These people are not from Pluto or Mars.
So it's the wrong value system of the society.
Listen to me. What our leaders, the people we look up to, you've said it. You are helping me do my job. Thank you for, you are not even giving me much stress. Now, the people you are talking about, they are looking up to, these are the people that are even the architect of our problems.
These are the people that are the architects of our problems. Come on, right here. Come on, put your hands together once again. Come on. Hold on. Of course, remember, we are still on the subject matter, and Julius is saying blame the youths, but Tim is saying the government hasn't done enough to curb the virus. When we return, it's going to be about the audience, because I know they are so ready to tackle this issue because it involves this generation. We'll be right back, but of course, don't stray. This is still the big issue. Of course, welcome back, and of course, you are still watching The Big Issue. Well, the subject matter is real, and we are asking questions here, and right now, the audience want to contribute to this subject matter. Julius is saying blame the youth. Team is saying the government hasn't done enough to actually curb this virus. But we're going to take questions very quickly, and I have my first question from, what's your name now?
My name is Biodun. My question is directed to Mr. Julius.
All right.
Mr. A is involved in cybercrime. He got caught. Money exchange ends, and is being released. Don't you think that will encourage Mr. B to do the same thing, knowing fully well that he also might not be punished?
I've always said this, that what has led to where we are today, because I was complaining recently that we don't still have light power supply in this country. And somebody said, I was trying to blame the government, the current administration. And the person said, 80 years ago, there was no light. 60 years ago, there was no light. 40 years ago, there was no light. So what that means is there has been a backlog of moral decadence coming. And then today, we are where we are.
Okay.
We are where we are. So what I would say to that is, ultimately, you are responsible for your actions, whether it's motivated by the society or not. If you make your choice, you are ultimately responsible for that choice. If we all begin to make decisions or make actions based on what we see that others do, we will turn this country to something else.
All right, that answers the question, I guess. Come on, put your hands together. All right, what is your name and who are you directing your question to?
My name is Rotimi. My question goes to you.
Okay, so Julius.
If Nigeria are weeping every day over corrupt leadership and the future leaders are already in the business of internet fraud, what then is the future of Nigeria as a country?
Thank you. Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. So if we keep encouraging internet fraud, regardless of who is to be blamed, then we have obviously said that there's no future for Nigeria.
So are you saying we are finished?
If we keep encouraging it, now we need to begin to let people understand, let the young people understand, number one, whatever you are doing, whatever crime you are committing on the internet, you are doing that at the expense of the national image. 2, the future and the destiny of the nation.
It's at stake.
It's at stake. And the second thing, or the third thing we need to encourage people today is that people need to understand again. Our parents taught us that whatever you do, as long as it's your business and it's legitimate, even if it's giving you 10 naira, 20 naira, if you manage it well, you become rich someday. So we need to begin to encourage dignity in labor again.
Right.
So we need, the young man need to understand, the young woman need to understand that there is dignity in labor. The idea of get rich quick, the idea of painting the street red doesn't pay off on the long run. So you must have eternal, you must begin to engage in stuff, activity that has eternal value. You must begin to engage in the activities that on the, if your children hear of what you did, they would even celebrate you. Daddy, thank you that when others were doing the wrong things, you decided to do the right thing.
Come on, guys, put your hands together.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Julius. All right, the next question. Who are you directing your question to? Oh my goodness. Julius, you're in for a big deal
I'm
today.
ready for you.
So my question goes like this.
Very short
We
and
have
precise.
21 million unemployed youths in Nigeria, twice the population of Benin Republic.
Thank you.
Our leaders, their children are not in this country. They school abroad, they live abroad, they have wealthy lifestyles. In Nigeria, the minimum wage is 18,000 per
Stepped up.
month. Okay, that's stepped up, 30,000 per month, which is like the same thing with American minimum wage of 1 hour. Go and check it, it's a fact. Don't you feel that we should rather face the leaders? They should give us good education, good lights, good power supply. The water corporation in Lagos State is dead. I have to go and fetch water, a long, like 15-hour journey from my house to where I fetch water. So don't you feel that we should face the leaders first? Then when we face them, we can now go back to the youth. Because when the head is rotting, when the fish is getting rotten, it starts from the head.
All right.
The government needs to provide basic amenities, basic things for us. But I can also assure you that you are probably looking at the wrong things always. Instead of facing the leaders, I encourage that we face our reality. Instead of facing the leaders, I encourage that we face our reality. The reality, if I wake up in the morning and I realize that the government has not provided me water, they have not provided me power supply, and I need water to survive, and I need light to survive, I'll get off of my bed and I'll go walk with my hands and I'll get my power supply and my water so that I can continue to live. I would not blame the government or decide to take my life because of what the people or what other people has not provided for me. I have my hands and my life is my own. I'll take responsibility for it.
Thank you very much.
So facing the government, if it looks like a waste of time, face your reality and do something about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The rate of unemployment in Nigeria is very, very bad. And that is one of the things that make the youth to engage on this cybercrime. Now, please, could you be able to help us to tell the government what and what to do to salvage the situation so that the youth can be, yes, unemployed?
They can be engaged. Okay.
Okay, basically, what you said, if you look at it, it's not just going to be automatic. Change does not happen like
overnight.
a bank. It's a process. So basically, this has started. I believe that the revolution is on right now. The process is already, we're gathering momentum right now. And I strongly believe that in as much as there's so much unemployment in the land, the truth is that the government is overwhelmed, basically as it is. But there are other things that we can do as individuals, not solely waiting for the government completely.
Okay.
The churches should be involved, organizations should be involved. We should make it a primary objective.
The mosque should be involved.
The mosque, NGOs, we should make it a primary objective. What do we do to take away, to expunge this scourge out of our midst?
System.
And let's reintroduce a saner way of living, because the mindset of our young people currently is completely off the track because of the example that has been set by the people ahead.
What about social media? Are you saying social media also is not a factor to be considered? Because social media is there. No matter how you try to curb it, it's actually there. People actually set up accounts. You can be, it's youth also get influenced through social media. So how do you think that can be tackled?
Yeah, basically, thank you for what you were saying. And also let me point to you. There are quite a number of people doing wonderful things, but bad news travel faster.
Thank you.
These people that are engaged in these vices, they tend to, because of the noise they make, you go to a restaurant or anywhere, because of the level of inferiority, that is the complex issue. You look at somebody who is intelligent, who lives a quiet life because you make your money through genuine ways, and this other person comes in and he wants to impress it upon people that this is the way of life, just like majority of our leaders do. When they enter a place, you will notice that they've arrived. It is only when they go abroad, they live the low profile life. They adhere to instruction, they adhere to rules, they can obey traffic, they can do, but here, no, they disobey everything. Not all the leaders, you understand? But because evil, bad things travels fast and it makes more, it carries more substance and the noise, the loud bangs that comes with it. So people tend to notice it. So I strongly believe that even on the social media, if we promote those that are doing exceptionally well, get some young people from the movie industry, like I've said, get them as ambassadors. The people that are operating the social media, they are not ghosts, they are human beings. Churn out good values. Make it a project. Start campaigning. Just the time we said corruption is not in our country, this. Let us start a campaign against Yahooism. And the government should champion this. I think this will go along.
Thank you. You have a question, right? Yes. What is your name and who are you directing your question to?
My name is Abdul Karim.
All right, Abdul Karim.
My question goes to Mr. Julius.
All right, Julius.
Now, looking at our country, the trend is actually that there's Yahoo in this country. And the youths are getting inundated on daily basis that the problem of the country is Yahoo. But we know that at the end of the day, billions and billions of naira that's stashed away into foreign lands is not by the Yahoo boys. It is, if you look at the accounts of HSBC, AIG, all these Citibank, all these international banks, Nigerian leaders have money there. So don't you think, Mr. Julius, that the Nigerian leaders are just hyping or try to project the youth, just like the president said that the youths are lazy at the time? So I don't believe. What is your own mindset about this fact that Nigerian youths are lazy and Nigerian youths are the main problem of this country? I'm not standing. I'm challenging you that Nigerian youths are not the problem of this country.
Okay, Julius,
rather,
you got this question.
The government.
Yeah, you are dumbfounded.
Some social media. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to.
I know.
Social media has a way of.
It's a big issue.
Social is a big issue. Yeah, social media has a way of making different subject matter trend per time. So what is trending today might not be trending tomorrow. Right? What is trending tomorrow might just go off the wave tomorrow, next week and all. This is what I have to say. All right, the youth must come to the point that we decide that we care less about what the government does and take the destiny of our lives and our nation by the horn. Your activity that you think you are using to enrich yourself alone is causing damage to the image of the country. Two, we need to also magnify the fact that there is dignity in labor. Number three, we used to magnify the fact that success or greatness, as it were, is not in the amount of money that you have. There's much more than that.
Come on, guy, you want to put your hands together for that? Why are you hesitating?
And lastly, I need to say this. Lastly, the youth that we are leaving out of the equation, we need to remind us that at 2, 3, 4, 5 years our age, we should be giving birth to children. We should be raising another generation, and we obviously cannot give what we don't have. So if we are criminals, we would also pass down the values of to another generation. The cycle continues. Some generation must rise up to nip this in the bud. If we can't eradicate it, let's minimize it.
Thank you very much. The last question.
I'm Titi Michael by name.
Michael? Yeah.
I'm directing my question to Mr.
Tim.
Mr. Tim.
All right.
If you say government should be blamed on this Yahoo of a thing, what of Yahoo Plus? Please tell me something about that. Somebody who has been making money for years and still exhausted the money, engaging in ritual acts. Please tell me something about this. My brother, God will bless you.
Amen.
My government can never be blamed on anything. Whatever you do here on earth, Abraham Lincoln said, people who seek for fault always find it. Those, whatever I become in life, I'm originally architect of it. So why will I be blaming my government? Though, averagely, government can be blamed, but not totally as you are saying it. He has a lot of points. You are talking about employment. Check the employment rate over there in other countries. Even US. It's not only here in Nigeria that we are facing this kind of problem. We have it all over the world.
Okay, Michael.
So please,
Michael, I got your question.
Tell me something that bring about Yahoo Plus.
Okay.
The Yahoo Plus you are talking about, I think you're talking about ritual. Everybody knows ritual killing has been there ever since the case of Otokoto, which you know how that case. I don't know how long you've been in the country, and I don't know how the history. If you go back to history, study and read about the incident of Otokoto. I think it took place in Owerri, not until of recent, before they gave judgment against the people that were involved. And then there was another case of another ritual killer that confessed. I think I've forgotten the name of the guy that confessed that his main clients were government or politicians. Clifford Orji, God bless you. Clifford Orji. I don't know if you follow that event. So basically, that is what it's used for. The purpose of the ritual killers is for money purposes.
Money purposes.
Now, if you now go deeply into that, the people that are engaged in those activities is not just only the youth. It boils down to the society, societal values, the way we think, the way we see things. Yesterday followers are today leaders. The people you are condemning today are going to one way or the other because of their financial muscles, because they've been able to accumulate wealth through fraudulent means. Tomorrow they come out to vie for an office, they win, they become a leader. What do you think, what kind of society are you going to have?
Thank you, you're taking it home. Come on, put your hands together for him. All right about now we want to coast home. Don't worry, when we return from this break, we take thoughts from our fantastic gentlemen and we're right home. This is still the big issue. Welcome back, of course. If you're just joining us, too bad you have missed out on a chunk, but still, this is the big issue. Well, of course, Julius and team have successfully, taken this subject matter to a large extent. They've actually poured out their hearts, they've argued from all angles, and looking at the subject matter itself, you know for real that this is a very, very complicated situation. And I always tell you that if the issue is not big enough, it has no business here. And finally, it made its way here, and so far we've done justice. If you're just joining, too bad, you've missed a lot. But not to worry, let's hear our final thoughts from this gentleman, and then we end this. Team, you have practically dissected this from the very start. You went on from the government, all the angles. They are not doing enough. They have not set up enough policies. What is your final thought as we ride home?
Basically, if the conversation has gone in conclusion, I think we should all see ourselves as stakeholders. We cannot live our society the way it is. We're going on the wrong track, we're going on the wrong path. Everybody from our immediate community leaders, CDAs, association, should all be involved. Somebody who is living a kind of life you can't explain, alert the authorities. Do not leave it like, I don't care, did they steal from me? One day it will be your turn. You can be the victim at any time. So we must see it as a personal responsibility. We must be patriotic in our thoughts. Because if we are not patriotic in our thoughts, one day we'll wake up and we'll see a nation again.
Wow.
The kind of leaders we have, we should consciously choose the people who lead us Anybody with criminal track record should not be allowed to hold sensitive positions.
Thank you very much.
They should be barred from offices, from holding sensitive positions, so that when they get there, they will do justice and they will rid our society of crimes.
Thank you very much. All right. You heard Tim's final conclusion. So the ball is now in your court.
Thank
quickly.
you,
Yeah.
Mark. And I would say that it's glaring that no country that is aspiring for greatness can totally ignore the contributions of the youth, or also begin to they also neglect the impact of the negative activities of the youth that counter the policies and programs of the country. So no country as such will ignore. So my word to the youth out there is, we need to be a lot more responsible, we need to be a lot more deliberate, and we need to be a lot more conscious about what we do per time, because it adds up to the entire program of the greatness of the country.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for them. Now, well, it's a ritual on the show, right? Tim and Julius, come on, you can shake hands now. You can shake hands. Have you enjoyed them? Put your hands together for them, quickly. Thank you very much. Don't you forget, we are on air, online, and on your mobile, and the handle is at TVC Connect and at TVC News NG. My handle is Mark Otabo, one word. Now, before I leave, a Chinese philosopher once said, a person is born with feelings of envy and hate. If he gives way to them, they will lead him to violence and crime, and any sense of loyalty and good faith will be abandoned. Because in reality, our greatest happiness does not depend on the conditions of life in which chance has placed us, but is always the result of a good conscience. Of course, until we meet again, stay out of crime and remain upbeat with life in general. This is still, of course, the big... Thank you very much. Peace.